Alrighty, August 25th, 10 a.m. Micro NQ. So I looked at 7 o'clock, between the 7 and 9. Does look like consolidation to me, although I did try to trade this downward. No, thank you. I did try to trade this downward, so I got stopped out up here, this morning. So I just waited until 9:30. So 9:30 opened up here. First presented fair value gap was right here, which is bullish. My sentiment was bearish sentiment. I expected price to kind of return back into this space and show me that it wanted to go down. Also, if I go down to regular trading hours, and I remove my drawings, I guess it's confusing. This is yesterday's close. This is today's open. I'm expecting price to come in and fill this gap at least halfway, 50% of this gap. So that was my draw on liquidity there. I didn't have any other draw on liquidity, and it spoke to my daily mentality of I'm expecting us to be bearish because we've been bearish since, and we have this gap right here that has not even been tapped into. So I was kind of expecting this gap to get filled at some point. So going back to the 1 minute, going back to electronic and putting back on my drawings, I entered into this trade here, I think. No, excuse me. I entered in no, let's just put execution marks because I don't remember. Execution mark here. Yeah. I entered into this trade here because I saw that this was giving resistance in this new week opening gap. It gave this resistance, so I entered into this trade here. When price came up, I added another position, but then I got stopped out up here. And then we started to see some sentiment. So once I got stopped out, I waited for price to come back in, and I entered on, I guess I entered here. Could have entered here, but I did not. I entered here with 2 contracts. And I think I entered in with 1 more contract here. I guess I sold off here. Either way, my whole pattern again was being bearish, and my goal was to fill in that gap, halfway gap that I had, which was actually down here, 0.5, which was 29,201 even. So I entered in up here, came down, entered an additional position, got out, and stayed in, and actually got out here. Yep, got it right here. So I kind of broke even because I lost 200 something, made 300 something. So my grain profit is 84 on that. I think we're turning now on here. So the question is, do I want to stay in this trade? I think I might buy myself out of 2, leave 1 on, and see what happens with it. I'm trying to see where I want to put my stop loss. My stop loss, I think it's okay up here. I should probably have it lower, like at this swing high up here. What would be my target? My target, if we continue to go low, again, it'd be nice for it to hit this halfway mark here. I've also got new day opening gap down here, but realistically, it would make sense to come down to this. I think I said 29,200 even, but it's 29,202 even. So let me bring a realistic 29,202 even 202. I never get it right on the mark, but okay. Yeah, let's see. And then if I look to see how many handles of a move this was, if we started off, better to do it here. Entered into price over here, and then got out right here. If I put in more position, that's 482. That's not bad. That's 382 up here, or it's 120 because I entered in at 29,382, got out 29,249. Yeah, if I put in higher positions, that would have been a great move. So clearly price is still going. It did this um, retracement. What makes this retracement still nice and valid is that it kind of basically stays underneath the wicks, so you don't see any bodies above these large wicks. Though you see this go up here, it stays underneath this one, and this one that's made here. These subsequent candles are also beneath it. If I took this and drew it up here, there are no bodies above here, which is nice. And so price shows that it still wants to be bearish, right? Because it was in a premium up here. It was above the 50% mark made between the 7 and 9 o'clock low and high. This is the 50% mark. Price came up into this premium and dropped down. Makes sense. I entered in here seeing this little gap that was made at 8:30, 8:29, 30, and 31. I entered in here. I got stopped out, which is cool. I get stopped out. Price continues to respect it. We're still in the premium. I'm expecting discount prices. Price shows me that it wants to keep bodies under, and it continues to push under. I have like a long wick here. This body closes underneath it. Body keeps going. Body, body, body. You've got this long wick here. Body closes underneath it. You've got this wick here. Body stay underneath it. So if I get stopped out on my top step, I'm cool with that. Yeah, this was my negative mess up because I just kept messing up over there. But yeah, and I put my halfway part here for the halfway mark because I expect if this gap is going to try and fill, I can expect 50% of it to get fill. Expecting it to get all the way fill and coming into the into here, it's kind of like me asking for too much. We've already had such a nice move here. Then I have these red lines here because I kind of looked at minor sell sides that price could come out and take. So it could have taken here. Actually, I think it did. This would have been a nice relatively equal lows here at 4:04 and 4:14 p.m. This could have been another low here at 23:49, 23:56-ish. And then again, 22:50. So these are areas where I could see like draws on liquidity, price can hit and want to reverse back off of. But yeah, that's my trade for this morning. These are my execution marks. I'm gonna take the execution marks off because they confuse me. Yeah. So that's today's trade. Let's see how the rest of the day goes. Oh, I'm also gonna remark on yesterday's trade. That's good. I remarked on the video to say that yesterday's trade, I was bearish. I was bearish for several reasons, and I put that in the video. But at the gate, we came out here, and I can show my execution marks again on this one. Oh, is it? Hold on. Let me show my execution marks here. Oh, interesting. I guess it's not showing. I did take this trade, and in taking this trade, I took it somewhere here, and I showed all of this in the video yesterday, but I entered the trade somewhere in here, and I explained my reasons why, but I wanted to explain price action for the rest of the day. So entered in somewhere here, got out on either this, I think it was this candle, and I believe I got out of this candle because it closed above here, and we'd hit a key level, and so I expected some reversal, and we were hitting that 10 o'clock, we were closely approaching 10 o'clock where I knew we'd have some sort of consolidation before we hit the silver bullet for 10:30. So and you see I mentioned in the video that there would be some consolidation from what we learned from ICT. You'd have a little bit of consolidation until you start to see fair value gaps presented that starts to show bullish sentiment or reversal, and that's what happens here. So you had a big move, big range in the first 9:30 to 10:30-ish hour, and then you show bullish sentiment for bullish sentiment for the 10:30 into, and it comes back into this same gap, this big displacement. And I said in the stream yesterday that inefficiencies or deficiencies or imbalances, whatever you call this really long move, price will always gravitate back to that point at some point. So anytime you start to see sentiment, like the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm glad I got out. Because somebody would say, why don't you just stay in and see if it really reversed? Because in my mind, the whole time that price was moving down, I kept thinking it's gonna want to come back here. Even though it has another move right here and price clearly goes down and it comes back up into this space, it's always going to remember to come back in here. And so it does that. It does that once. It almost does it. It does it here. It almost does it. It does it very well here. And even back into this fair value gap right behind this 930 candle. So price is always going to come back, especially to these big areas. So I'm going to remember this and keep it marked, because ideally price could use that again as a draw on. It comes through it again in the middle of the night. And obviously it could come right back to that same spot because it was such a big inefficiency. So let's see where we're at. Now we're doing the whole consolidation thing, which is annoying as heck. I'm actually going to get out because it's 10:21. Let's just close, because if I'm being smart or I'm being safe about my trade, this is the part of time where price starts to consolidate. We're not really going to do a whole lot of planning here. We're going to want to wait and just look for a silver bullet option. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to label it silver bullet. And somewhere by the time it's 10:30, likely, but it's not always guaranteed, it may end up just taking this out and moving on. But at the same time, you can expect some consolidation, and then by 10:30, price either continues back its run or it's going to reverse back and kind of go up. So we'll see what happens, and I'll come back and talk about that tomorrow.